The conversation was staged. I knew at the moment she asked me to sit down. It was 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. Our son Jake was at his friend's house for a sleeper. The dishwasher hummed in the kitchen. The living room was bathed in that artificial warm light from the lamp Sarah had insisted we buy from Pottery Barn, $340, for a lamp that looked exactly like the $40 one at Target, but apparently had better energy. Sarah sat across from me in the armchair, not next to me on the couch where we used to sit. The armchair, the power position. Her hands were clasped in her lap, her posture straight, her face arranged into this expression of practiced, solemn grief. She was about to perform. I'd seen this look before. When she told her mother we couldn't afford to fly to Cancun for Christmas. We just couldn't afford it. And her new Peloton. When she explained to the PTA why she couldn't volunteer, she just didn't want to. When she told Jake why Daddy was sleeping in the guest room again, because Daddy had disappointed her by forgetting to pick up her dry cleaning. This was her difficult conversation face, the one she practiced in the bathroom mirror. Mark, she started, her voice trembling just enough to sound vulnerable, but not enough to smudge her makeup. I don't know how to say this. She paused, waited for me to lean forward, to show concern, to play my part. I didn't move, I think. Another pause. A single tear, perfectly timed, rolled down her left cheek. I think I want a divorce. I watched her. I should have felt something. Panic, grief, anger, anything. Instead, I felt a 1,000-pound weight. A weight I hadn't even realized I was carrying for 20 years. Just lift. My shoulders relaxed. My jaw unclenched. My chest, that constant tight band of anxiety I'd learned to live with, suddenly expanded. I could breathe. For the first time in 2 decades, I could actually breathe. Okay, I said. Her eyes widened. Just slightly. Just enough. If that's what you want, I continued, my voice steady, calm. I'll call a lawyer in the morning. We can figure out the house, the custody arrangement, all of it, whatever you need. The silence that followed was exquisite. The blood drained from her face. This was not the script. The script was, she drops the bomb, I fall apart. I beg. I ask what I did wrong. I promise to be better, to be more exciting, to finally be the man she'd been trying to mold me into since 2003. I plead for another chance. She graciously considers it. She makes me work for her forgiveness. And then, after I've properly groveled, she decides whether to give us another try. The script was not. Mark says okay and offers to call a lawyer. My immediate, calm agreement had just ripped every ounce of power from her hands. What? She stammered. The performance shattered. The mask cracked. That's it? Just okay? Yeah, I said, standing up. My legs felt strong. When was the last time my legs felt strong? Okay, I'll go sleep in the guest room tonight. Give you some space to think. No, her voice was sharp, shrill, a shriek that made me flinch. I stopped halfway to the hallway. No, you don't. She stood up, her face red now, her carefully applied mascara starting to run. You don't even care! 20 years, Mark! 20 years! Is that all I'm worth to you? You're not even going to fight for me? She was sobbing now. Real tears, finally. But they weren't tears of sadness or regret. They were tears of pure, unadulterated rage. The test had failed. She'd thrown down the gauntlet expecting me to pick it up and duel for her honor. Instead, I'd just walked past it. I turned around slowly. I looked at her, really looked at her, and I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel betrayal. I just felt this profound, bottomless exhaustion. Fight? I repeated quietly. I am fighting, Sarah. I've been fighting for 20 years. I'm tired. That's not what I mean. She was pacing now, her hands in her hair. You're supposed to love me, to tell me I'm wrong, to want me. The word want came out like an accusation. I did, I said. My voice was so quiet it scared me. I did want you for 20 years. I sat back down, not because she asked me to, because my legs suddenly felt weak again. She stood there, chest heaving, mascara streaking, staring at me like I was a stranger. I fought for you, I said, when you had the affair with Derek. Her face went white. That wasn't an affair. You had an emotional affair with your boss? I continued, my voice still calm, still steady. In 2008, you were texting him at 2 a.m. You were staying late at the office 4 nights a week. You bought new lingerie, and it wasn't for me. We were just friends. You told him things you wouldn't tell me. You laughed at his jokes. You lit up when he texted you, and when I asked about it, you called me paranoid, controlling, insecure. She opened her mouth, closed it. I fought for you, I said, when you told me I was boring. Remember that? 5th anniversary dinner. You said I was predictable, that you needed excitement. Do you know what I was doing that was so boring and predictable? I was working 60-hour weeks to pay the mortgage on this house you insisted we buy. I was coaching Jake's Little League team because you were too busy. I was grocery shopping and cooking dinner and doing laundry because you were finding yourself. Mark, I fought for you every single time you needed space and ran up the credit cards. $7,000 at Nordstrom last year, $5,000 the year before. Do you know how many extra shifts I picked up to cover that? Do you know how many times I canceled plans with my friends because we we couldn't afford it while you were buying your fourth pair of Louboutins? She was crying harder now, but silently. I fought for you. I continued, my voice cracking now. When you called me weak because I wouldn't scream at you, because I wouldn't throw things or slam doors or give you the passion you said you needed. And then I fought for you when you called me controlling because I just asked where the money was going or why you were coming home at midnight. I looked at my hands. When had they started shaking? I bought the book, Sarah. The 5 Love Languages. Hold Me Tight. Getting the Love You Want. I read them all. You didn't open a single one. I scheduled the marriage counseling. You canceled 4 sessions. Then you stopped going altogether because the therapist didn't understand you. She was biased. She suggested you take responsibility for your actions. That's not bias. That's therapy. The silence hung between us like fog. I stood up again. This time I made it to the window. Outside, the neighborhood was quiet. The Johnsons' porch light was on. The Martins' dog was barking. Normal suburban Tuesday night. I wasn't just your husband, I said, my back to her. I was your audience, your fan club, your emotional support animal. I was the person you performed for, the person you tested, the person you punished when I didn't react the way you wanted. I turned around. She was sitting now, her face in her hands. Remember our wedding? I asked. You cried during the vows. Real tears. You told me you'd never been happier. You said I was your person, your forever. She looked up at me, her eyes red. What happened, Sarah? When did I stop being your person and start being your prop? You changed, she whispered. I laughed. It came out bitter. I changed? I'm the same guy you married. I still bring you coffee in bed. I still remember your mom's birthday. I still tell you you're beautiful even when you're screaming at me for leaving dishes in the sink. I'm the same. You're the one who changed. That's not fair. You want to know when I realized it? I didn't wait for her to answer. It was Jake's 8th birthday party, 3 years ago. You'd planned this huge thing at that trampoline place. Cost us $800. All the parents were there. And Jake fell, scraped his knee. Nothing serious, but he was crying. And I picked him up and cleaned him up and got him a juice box. And when I came back, you were laughing with the other moms. And one of them said something like, "You're so lucky, Sarah. Mark is so good with Jake." And do you know what you said? She didn't answer. You said, "Yeah, he's good at the easy stuff." Her face crumpled. The easy stuff, I repeated. Being a father, being present, being there. That was the easy stuff. And I realized right then that nothing I did would ever be enough because you'd already decided I wasn't enough. I sat back down, but this time on the arm of the couch. Not settled, not staying. You want to know why I'm not fighting? I asked. Because I've been fighting for years. I just finally realized I was the only one in the ring. She wiped her face with the back of her hand, smearing mascara across her cheek. I do love you. No, you don't. Yes, you love the idea of me, I said. You love having a husband. You love telling your friends you're married. You love the security in the house and the joint bank account. You love having someone to blame when you're unhappy. But me, the actual person, you stopped loving me years ago. You just didn't want to admit it because then you'd have to take responsibility for your own happiness. She stood up suddenly, anger flashing across her face. You think you're so perfect? You think you're blameless? No, I said simply. I'm not perfect. I work too much. I'm not spontaneous. I'd rather stay home and watch movies than go to clubs. I'm not the exciting, passionate, unpredictable guy you thought you married. I'm just me. Boring, steady, reliable me. And that's never been enough for you. So this is my fault? She demanded. Everything is my fault? No, I said again. It's not about fault. It's about incompatibility. You need drama. You need chaos. You need someone to fight with and make up with and fight with again. You need that cycle. That's how you feel. Alive. And I need peace. I need stability. I need a partner, not an adversary. I stood up fully now, ready to walk away. We're just different, I said. And I've spent 20 years trying to be what you needed. And you've spent 20 years punishing me for not being it. I can't do it anymore, Sarah. I'm not strong enough. So you're just giving up? Her voice was smaller now, scared. No, I said. I'm choosing me. Maybe for the first time ever. She sank back into the chair. When did you stop loving me? The question surprised me. I thought about it. Really thought about it. I don't think I ever stopped, I said honestly. I think I just stopped recognizing you. The woman I married was kind. She laughed easily. She was passionate about art and music and bad reality TV. She wanted to travel and have adventures and build a life together. I moved to the couch, sitting on the edge, not close to her, just present. But somewhere along the way, I continued, you became someone else, someone angry, someone critical, someone who looked at everything I did and found it lacking. And I kept trying to find that woman I married. I kept thinking maybe if I just tried harder, if I just loved you better, she'd come back. I'm still here, Sarah whispered. Are you? I looked at her. When's the last time you asked me about my day? When's the last time you touched me without it being a precursor to asking for something. When's the last time you said I love you and actually meant me, not what I could do for you? She had no answer. I'll tell you when, I said. It was Jake's 5th birthday. 7 years ago. We were at the zoo. He was losing his mind over the penguins. And you grabbed my hand and you looked at me and you said, we made something beautiful. And you meant it. You actually saw me. Saw us. Saw what we'd built. I could feel tears coming now, but I blinked them back. That was the last time, I said. 7 years ago. Everything after that has been a performance. Going through the motions. Pretending we're still that couple. We can be that couple again, she said desperately. We can go to therapy. Real therapy. I'll try. I promise I'll try. You said that before, I reminded her. After the Derek thing. You promised to try. We went to 3 sessions. Then you said the therapist was incompetent because she suggested you might be depressed and needed individual counseling. I wasn't depressed. You were, I said gently. You are. But you won't admit it because that would mean admitting something is wrong, and you can't do that. It's always external. The therapist is bad. I'm not attentive enough. Your friends don't understand you. Your mother is too critical. It's never you. She was crying openly now, her shoulders shaking. I'm not saying this to hurt you, I said. I'm saying it because it's true. And if you don't face it, you're going to be unhappy for the rest of your life, with me or without me. She was quiet for a long time. Then, what about Jake? We'll co-parent, I said. Like adults. We'll put him first. Make sure he knows this isn't his fault. Get him therapy if he needs it. We'll figure it out. He's going to hate me. No, he's not. Yes, he will. He'll blame me. Everyone will blame me. And there it was. The real fear. Not losing me. Not hurting Jake. But how it would look to other people. Does it matter? I asked. Of course it matters. Why? She stared at me like I'd asked why water was wet. Because people will judge me. They'll think I'm a bad wife. A bad mother. Are you? I asked. No. Then why do you care what they think? She had no answer for that either. This is the thing, Sarah, I said. You've spent our entire marriage managing perception. The right house in the right neighborhood. The right car, the right clothes, the right friends. Everything has been about what other people think. About looking perfect. That's not true. It is true. You threw Jake a $2,000 birthday party last year because all the other moms were doing it. He wanted to go to the arcade with 3 friends and eat pizza. But that wasn't good enough. Wasn't impressive enough. She looked away. You bought that Peloton because your friend Rebecca had one, I continued. You've used it twice. It's a $2,500 clothing rack now. But you had to have it because she had it. I was trying to be healthier. You were trying to keep up, I said. And I get it. I do. Social pressure is real. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, who are you doing this for? She didn't answer. You asked for a divorce tonight? I said, not because you actually want one, but because you wanted to see if I'd fight for you. If I'd prove I still wanted you. It was a test. Another performance. Another way to get validation. That's not. It is, I said firmly. And I'm done with the test, Sarah. I'm done auditioning for the role of your husband. Either I am or I'm not. And right now, honestly, I don't think either of us knows anymore. I stood up again. This time, I made it to the hallway. Mark, she called. Her voice was broken. Real. Maybe the most real it had been in years. I stopped, but didn't turn around. I don't actually want a divorce, she whispered. I know, I said. Then why? Because I might, I said. The words hung in the air like smoke. I turned around. She was standing now, hugging herself, looking small and lost. I need time, I said. I need to think, really think, about what I want, about whether I can do this anymore, about whether we can fix this or if it's too broken. How much time? I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Her voice cracked. Whatever you want, I said. That's always been the problem, hasn't it? You do whatever you want, and I just accommodate. I adjust. I make it work. Maybe it's time you figure out what you actually want. Not what looks good. Not what your friends have. What you want. I walked to the guest room and closed the door. I heard her, a minute later, let out a single, horrified sob. The sound of a person who had just lit the final match, only to realize she was the one doused in gasoline. I didn't sleep. I lay on the guest bed, the one we'd bought when Sarah's mother visited, the one no one had used in 2 years, and I stared at the ceiling. My phone buzzed around midnight. A text from Sarah. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Another text at 1 a.m. Can we talk? I turned the phone off. Around 3 a.m., I heard her footsteps outside the door. They stopped. I waited for the knock. It didn't come. Eventually, the footsteps retreated. When I finally got up at 6 a.m., she was asleep on the couch, still in yesterday's clothes, mascara stains on the throw pillow. I made coffee. The machine was too loud in the quiet house. She stirred but didn't wake. I took my cup to the back porch. It was October, that perfect autumn morning where you need a jacket but the sun feels good on your face. The neighbors' yards were covered in leaves. Someone down the street was mowing their lawn too early. The sound cutting through the peace. My phone had 17 missed calls when I turned it back on. All Sarah. No voicemails. Just the calls. The digital equivalent of knocking on a door. I called my brother instead. It's 6 a.m., Dave answered groggy. Someone better be dead. Sarah asked for a divorce last night. Silence. Then, holy shit, are you okay? Yeah, I said. And the weird thing was, I meant it. Yeah, I think I am. What happened? I told him. The performance. The expectation. My response. Her meltdown. Good, Dave said when I finished. Good? Yeah. Yeah, good. About time you stood up for yourself. She's been walking all over you for years. You never said anything. You never would have listened, he said. You were in love. In love, people are deaf to reason. I'm not in love anymore, I said. The words came out before I could stop them. I know, Dave said gently. I think you've known for a while. You just weren't ready to admit it. He was right. Jake came home around 10 a.m. His friend's mom dropped him off. He bounded through the door, talking about the movie they watched and the pancakes they had and how Connor's dog threw up on the carpet. Gross, right? Jake laughed. He was 13. Everything was either awesome or gross. There was no in between. Sarah had showered and changed by then. She looked almost normal, red eyes, but otherwise composed. Hey, buddy, she said, her voice bright fake. How was the sleepover? Epic. Connor's mom makes the best pancakes. Can we get a dog? We'll see. That's parent code for no, Jake said to me, grinning. I forced a smile. Sometimes it means we'll see, but mostly it means no. He dumped his overnight bag by the door and headed to his room. I'm gonna play Fortnite. Sarah and I stood in the kitchen, the space between us suddenly vast. We need to tell him, she said quietly. Tell him what? You asked for a divorce. I said okay. Now you say you don't want one. There's nothing to tell yet. Yet, she repeated, latching onto the word. So you're still considering it? Yes. How long? I don't know, Sarah. I rinsed my coffee cup. I've made every decision in this marriage based on what you wanted, what you needed, what would make you happy. I'm not doing that this time. I need to figure out what I want. What if what you want is to leave? Her voice was small. Then I leave. Just like that? 20 years and you just leave? I turned to face her. Just like that? Sarah, there's nothing just about this. I've been slowly drowning for years. Last night you handed me a life preserver and then got mad when I grabbed it. That's exactly what you did. Jake's door opened upstairs. His footsteps on the landing. Mom, can I have a snack? Yes, baby, Sarah called up, her voice bright again, the mask back on. We had to act normal. For Jake. At least until we figured out what normal even meant anymore. I went to work Monday. Sarah texted me 17 times. I responded to 3. Are you coming home? Yes. What time? Normal time. Can we talk? Eventually. At lunch. I called the lawyer my brother recommended. Patricia Hoffman, 40 years of family law experience. A reputation for being fair but fierce. I'm not sure I'm actually getting divorced, I told her on the call. But I want to know what it would look like if I did. Smart, Patricia said. Let's talk. We talked for an hour. She explained assets, custody, alimony. It was all very clinical, very transactional. 20 years of marriage reduced to spreadsheets and clauses. Do you have a joint account? She asked. Yes. Any accounts in just your name? No. Sarah wanted everything joint for transparency. Does she work? She did. Before Jake. She was in marketing, but she stopped when he was born and never went back. So you've been the sole income for 13 years? Yes. She'll likely be entitled to alimony. Also, the house whose name is it in? Both. But I paid for it. She insisted on being on the deed for partnership. Patricia was quiet for a moment. Mark, I'm going to be honest with you. If you divorce, she's going to get a lot. Maybe half of everything. Maybe more. That's just the reality of 20 years and being the sole provider. I know. And you're okay with that? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Yeah, I said. I am. The money, the house, it's all just stuff. I can rebuild. What I can't rebuild is another 20 years of being someone's emotional punching bag. Good answer, Patricia said. Call me if you decide to move forward. In the meantime, document everything. Spending, arguments, everything. Just in case. Just in case, I repeated. Sarah gave me space. For 3 days, she didn't push, didn't demand, didn't perform. It was unsettling. She made dinner, normal dinner, spaghetti and meatballs, Jake's favorite. This is good, I said at the table. Thanks, she said quietly. Jake looked between us, sensing something but not knowing what. Are you guys okay? We're fine, buddy, I said. You're being weird. We're always weird, Sarah said, smiling. It almost reached her eyes. After dinner, after Jake went to bed, Sarah found me in the garage. I was pretending to organize tools. Really, I was just hiding. Can we talk? She asked. Not a test, not a performance, just talk. I put down the wrench I was holding. Okay, we sat on the garage steps. The door was open. The night was cold. I've been thinking, she started, about what you said, all of it, and you're right. I didn't respond. I am depressed, she continued. I have been for years, and I blamed you because that was easier than admitting something was wrong with me. I made you responsible for my happiness because I didn't know how to be happy on my own. I could hear the tears in her voice. I called a therapist, she said, an individual one. I have an appointment Thursday. That's good, I said. I know it doesn't fix everything. I know I hurt you. I know I might have broken us beyond repair, but I want to try, really try. Not for show, Not for other people, for me. And for us, if they're still in us. I looked at her. In the dim garage light, she looked young, vulnerable, like the woman I'd married 20 years ago. I'm glad you're getting help, I said honestly. You need it. But Sarah, I need you to understand something. Even if you fix yourself, that doesn't mean we're fixed. We might just be two healthy people who aren't right for each other. I know, she whispered. But can we at least try to find out? I don't know, I said. I really don't. 2 weeks passed. Sarah went to therapy twice a week. She stopped texting me constantly, stopped asking where I was going, what I was doing, when I'd be home. The house was quieter, calmer, almost peaceful, Jake noticed. Mom's different, he said one night while we shot baskets in the driveway. Different? How? I don't know. Less intense? She used to always be mad about something. Now she's just there. Is that better or worse? He thought about it, dribbling the ball. Better, I think. Less stressful. I helped him with his math homework. Sarah made dinner. We ate together. We talked about normal things. School, work, the news. Nothing heavy. It was almost like being married to a different person. On a Friday night, 3 weeks after the divorce conversation, Sarah asked if we could go for a walk. Just the two of us. Jake was at another sleepover. We walked through the neighborhood, past the Johnson's house with the perpetually on porch light, past the Martins with their barking dog, past all these normal houses with normal families who probably had their own fucked up dynamics hidden behind closed doors. My therapist asked me something this week, Sarah said. She asked me if I even liked you. Not loved you, liked you. What did you say? I said I didn't know, she admitted. I've been so focused on whether you loved me, whether you'd fight for me, whether I was enough for you. I never asked myself if you were enough for me. Not in the superficial way, in the real way. We stopped at the park. The empty playground looked haunted in the streetlight. And? I asked. I do, she said. Like you, I mean. When I'm not being crazy, when I'm not spiraling, when I'm not testing you, I actually like being around you. You're funny. You're kind. You're patient. You're everything I'm not. That's not. Let me finish, she said. You're everything I'm not. And instead of appreciating that, I resented it. I resented that you made it look easy, being steady, being reliable. I thought it meant you didn't feel deeply. But you do. You just don't weaponize your feelings like I do. We sat on the swings. The chains creaked. I don't know if I can change enough, she said. I don't know if I can be the wife you need, but I want to try. Not because I'm scared of being alone, not because of what people will think, but because I genuinely don't want to lose you. I pushed off, swinging gently. I need you to understand something. If we do this, if we try to fix this, it can't be for Jake. It can't be for appearances. It has to be because we both actually want to be married to each other. I do want that, she said. Do you? Or do you want to want that? She was quiet for a long time. I don't know. How do I know? I think that's the work, I said. Figuring that out. And I have to do the same work. I have to figure out if I can forgive you, if I can trust you again, if I even want to. Do you? She asked. Want to? I stopped swinging, looked up at the stars you could barely see through the light pollution. I don't know, I said honestly. Some days I think yes. Some days I think I'd be happier alone. Some days I think about what it would be like to date again, to start over, to build something with someone who actually sees me. Are you seeing someone? No, I said, but I've thought about it, and that's probably not a good sign. She started crying, quiet tears, not performative, just sad. I'm sorry, she said, for all of it, for the affair that wasn't an affair but kind of was, for the spending, for the tests, for making you feel like you were never enough when you were always more than enough. I know, I said. We sat there until the cold drove us home. The breakthrough came on a random Wednesday. Jake was at school. Sarah was at therapy. I was working from home. My phone rang. Sarah's therapist, Dr. Chen. Mr. Patterson, this is Dr. Chen. Sarah's signed a release so I could speak with you if needed. Do you have a moment? My heart jumped. Is she okay? She's fine. She's here, actually. We'd like you to come in for a joint session, if you're willing. I looked at my laptop, the spreadsheet I was supposed to be updating. The reports due by end of day. I'll be there in 20 minutes. The office was in a renovated house. Calming colors, soft music, all very therapeutic. Sarah was in Dr. Chen's office. Her eyes were red, tissues crumpled in her lap. Mark, thank you for coming, Dr. Chen said. She was younger than I expected. Kind eyes. Sarah's had a breakthrough today. She wanted you here to hear it. I sat in the chair across from Sarah. She looked terrified. I've been lying, Sarah said. Her voice was shaky. To you, to myself, to everyone. I waited. I tell people I left my job to raise Jake, that we agreed it was best. That's not true. My stomach dropped. I was fired, she said, 3 months before Jake was born, for poor performance. I'd been slipping for a while, missing deadlines, not focusing. I was already depressed then. I just didn't know it, or didn't want to admit it. She twisted the tissue in her hands. I was so ashamed, she continued. I thought if you knew, you'd see me as weak, as a failure. So I let you believe I chose to leave. And then Jake was born, and it was the perfect excuse, the perfect cover. Sarah, let me finish, she said. Please. I nodded. I've spent 13 years being a stay-at-home mom, but hating it, resenting you for having a career, resenting Jake for needing me, resenting myself for not being happy with this life I claimed to want. And instead of being honest, I just spiraled. spiraled. I spent money to feel better. I picked fights to feel something. I tested you to make sure you'd stay even though I was making it impossible for you to want to. She was sobbing now. I sabotaged us, she said, on purpose, because some fucked up part of me believed I didn't deserve happiness, so I made sure I wouldn't have it. Dr. Chen handed her more tissues. I sat frozen. The divorce thing, Sarah said. That was the final test. I wanted to see if you loved me enough to stay even when I told you to go, because in my broken brain, that would prove I was worth loving. But you didn't fight, and for the first time in 20 years, someone didn't let me manipulate them. You just accepted it, and that terrified me more than losing you, because it meant I had to face the truth. Which is, I asked quietly. That I'm the problem, she said. Not you, not the marriage. Me. I'm depressed. I'm manipulative. I'm terrified of being abandoned, so I push people away first. I've been doing it my whole life. To my parents, to my friends, to you, and I almost did it permanently this time. She looked at me, her eyes desperate. I don't expect you to forgive me, she said. I don't even expect you to stay, but I needed you to know the truth, all of it. No more lies, no more performances. Dr. Chen spoke up. Mark, Sarah's done some very difficult work today. This kind of honesty is a crucial first step. But I want to be clear, this doesn't fix everything. Sarah has a long road ahead. Depression, trauma, behavioral patterns, these things take time to heal. I know, I said. The question is, Doctor, Chen continued, whether you're willing to be part of that journey, not as her savior, not as her caretaker, but as a partner who's also doing his own work. My own work? I asked. You've enabled these patterns, Doctor, Chen said gently. By not setting boundaries, by accepting treatment you shouldn't have accepted, by staying silent when you should have spoken up. That's not blame, it's just fact. If you want this marriage to work, you both need to change. I looked at Sarah, really looked at her. Not the performance, not the mask, just her, broken, honest, scared. I'm willing to try, I said, but I need something from you. Anything, Sarah said quickly. No, I said firmly. Don't say anything, that's the problem. You say anything, but you don't mean it. You say what I want to hear, and then 6 months later we're back here. I need you to be honest. If I ask for something and you can't give it, say no. Don't agree and then resent me for asking. She nodded, tears streaming. I need you to continue therapy, I said. Individual therapy. Every week. No canceling unless it's an emergency. A real emergency. Not, I don't feel like it emergency. Okay, I need you to stop spending without discussion. We need a budget, a real one, and we both stick to it. Okay, and I need you to stop testing me, I said. No more games, no more traps. If you're upset, say you're upset. If you need something, ask for it, but don't make me guess. Don't punish me for not reading your mind. I can do that, she said. Can you? I asked. Because you've said that before. She paused, took a breath. I can try. I'll probably fail sometimes, but I'll try. And when I do fail, I'll own it. No excuses. It was the most honest thing she'd said in years. We started couples therapy the next week with Dr. Chen, 1 hour every Thursday evening. It was brutal. Week 1, Dr. Chen made us list our resentments. Sarah had 17. I had 32. Week 2, we talked about communication, how Sarah escalated and I shut down, how that cycle perpetuated itself. Week 3, boundaries. I learned I didn't have any. Sarah learned she bulldozed through everyone else's. Week 4, the affair. Derek. Sarah admitted she'd been emotionally unfaithful. I admitted I'd known and stayed anyway. Why? Dr. Chen asked me. Because I thought if I just loved her better, she'd stop needing someone else. That's not how it works, Dr. Chen said. I know that now. By week 8, we were actually making progress. Small progress, but progress. Sarah got on medication, antidepressants. She fought it at first. I don't want to be numb, but eventually agreed when Dr. Andy T.I.F.D. Chen explained that depression was lying to her about what feeling normal meant. After a month on meds, Sarah was different, calmer, more present, less reactive. I didn't realize how much noise was in my head, she told me one night. It's like I've been living in static for years, and suddenly someone turned it off. We went on dates. Real dates. Not, we should probably do this to fix our marriage dates, but actual, I want to spend time with you dates. Dinner at the Italian place we went to on our first anniversary. A movie, mini golf, which Sarah won because she's always been weirdly competitive about mini golf. We laughed. Real laughs. Not forced, not performative. Just two people enjoying each other's company. We told Jake we were working on things. He seemed relieved more than anything. So you're not getting divorced? He asked. Not right now, I said honestly. We're trying to make things better. Good, he said. Connor's parents are divorced, and he has to have 2 Christmases. It seems complicated. Kids. Everything reduced to logistics. The first slip happened 3 months in. Sarah's college friend was getting married. Destination wedding in Napa. Sarah wanted to go. I said we couldn't afford it, not with therapy and Jake's braces and the car that needed new tires. She went quiet, that dangerous quiet I'd learned to recognize. You don't want me to go, she said. That's not what I said. I said, we can't afford it. You just don't want me to have fun. There it was. The old pattern, the accusation, the trap. But this time, I'd been learning too. I'm not doing this, I said calmly. I'm not getting pulled into a fight that isn't real. We have a budget. The wedding isn't in the budget. That's just math. If you want to go, we need to figure out what we're cutting. But I'm not the bad guy for pointing out reality. She stared at me. I could see her cycling through responses, looking for the angle, the guilt trip, the manipulation. Then she stopped, took a breath, nodded. You're right, she said. I'm sorry, that was old Sarah. Let me look at the budget. Maybe I can skip my hair appointment this month, or we postpone the car tires until next month. Or you call your friend and say you can't make it, I suggested, and send a nice gift instead. She looked pained. But everyone will judge me. Will they? I asked. Or will they understand that budgets exist and not everyone can drop $2,000 on a weekend? She was quiet. Then, you're right. I'm scared they'll think I'm broke, or that my marriage is still a mess. Your marriage is a work in progress, I said. And anyone who judges you for being financially responsible isn't much of a friend. She called her friend the next day, declined the wedding, sent a $100 gift from our gifts budget line item. Her friend understood. The world didn't end. Sarah learned a lesson. Honesty doesn't always lead to disaster. The second slip was worse. I came home from work and found Sarah crying in the bedroom. Her phone was face down on the bed. Red flag. What's wrong? I asked. Nothing. Sarah. I said nothing. I sat down on the bed, picked up the phone. The screen was unlocked. Messages with Derek. Recent messages. My stomach dropped. How long? I asked. It's not what you think. How long have you been talking to him again? She grabbed the phone back. We're just friends. He reached out to congratulate me on my sobriety. You're not sober. You're on antidepressants. That's not the same thing. He's getting divorced. He needed someone to talk to. I stood up. The old familiar weight was back on my chest. You're doing it again. I'm not. You are. You're finding emotional connection outside the marriage because things got hard. We had one fight about a wedding, and you're already running back to your backup plan. That's not fair. Read me the messages, I said. What? Right now. Read me the messages. If they're innocent, read them. She clutched the phone to her chest. I don't have to prove anything to you. Yes, I said. You do. That's what rebuilding trust means. You lost the right to privacy when you betrayed me the first time. If you want me to believe this is different, show me. We stared at each other. A standoff. Finally, she handed me the phone. I read the messages. They started friendly, got progressively more intimate. Not sexual, but intimate. Derek complaining about his wife. Sarah complaining about our challenges. Mutual support. Mutual understanding. The exact pattern from before. This ends now, I said. You can't tell me who I can talk to. I absolutely can, I said. Not as a controlling husband, as a boundary. Derek is off limits. You block him right now, or I'm done. Mark, I'm not negotiating this. I've spent months rebuilding trust. You've spent 3 weeks demolishing it. Block him, or I walk. She took the phone. Her hands were shaking. She opened the messages, hovered over the block button. He's my friend, she whispered. He's your emotional affair partner, I corrected. And if you choose him over this marriage, that tells me everything I need to know. She pressed block. Then she threw the phone across the room and sobbed. I stood there, watching her fall apart, and felt nothing. No satisfaction, no relief, just exhaustion. We're telling Dr. Chen tomorrow, I said. No? Yes. This is exactly the kind of thing we're supposed to bring to therapy. You slipped. Fine. People slip, but we deal with it honestly, or we don't deal with it at all. She nodded through her tears. Dr. Chen was not pleased. Sarah, we've talked extensively about your pattern of seeking external validation when things get difficult, she said. What happened? Sarah explained. The wedding fight. Feeling controlled. Feeling misunderstood. Derek reaching out at the perfect time. And you didn't think to bring this to therapy first? Dr. Chen asked. I didn't think it was a big deal, but Mark did. Mark's paranoid. Mark's traumatized, Doctor. Chen corrected. You betrayed his trust before. You were rebuilding it. And at the first sign of conflict, you turned to the same person who helped destroy that trust the first time. How did you expect him to react? Sarah had no answer. Dr. Chen turned to me. Mark, how are you feeling? Tired, I said honestly. I'm tired of wondering when the next slip will happen. Tired of being hypervigilant. Tired of questioning whether this is actually fixable, or if we're just delaying the inevitable. Do you want to leave? Dr. Chen asked bluntly. I thought about it. Really thought about it. I don't know, I said. Part of me does. Part of me thinks I've given enough. But another part of me sees how hard she's trying, sees the progress, and wonders if I'm giving up right before the breakthrough. That's very honest, Dr. Chen said. Sarah, what do you think about what Mark just said? I think I don't deserve him, Sarah whispered. I think he should leave. I think I'll just keep hurting him. Is that what you want? Dr. Chen asked. No, but maybe it's what's best. Best for whom? Dr. Chen pressed. For him, but not for you. I don't know what's best for me anymore. Dr. Chen leaned back. This is the core issue, Sarah. You don't have a sense of self. You define yourself through other people's perceptions. When Mark fought for you, you felt valuable. When he stopped fighting, you felt worthless. When Derek gave you attention, you felt seen. You're constantly seeking external validation because you have no internal sense of worth. How do I fix that? Sarah asked desperately. Time, work, probably more intensive therapy than once a week. Maybe a partial hospitalization program. Maybe medication adjustment. There's no quick fix. Sarah looked at me. Will you wait? For what? I asked. For me to fix myself. Sarah, I've been waiting for 20 years. I know. I'm asking for more time. I know I don't deserve it, but I'm asking. I looked at Dr. Chen. Is it fair for her to ask me to wait while she does the work she should have done years ago? No, Dr. Chen said simply. It's not fair, but marriage rarely is. The question isn't whether it's fair, it's whether you're willing. And if I'm not? I asked. Then you leave with a clear conscience, Dr. Chen said. You've done the work. You've given chances. No one could fault you for walking away. The room was silent. I need a break, I said finally. Not a divorce, not yet, but I need space. Real space. To figure out what I actually want without the pressure of saving this marriage. How much space? Sarah asked, her voice breaking. I don't know. A month. Maybe 2. I'll stay in a hotel. We'll split time with Jake. We'll keep doing therapy. But I need distance to think clearly. Okay, Sarah whispered. Okay. I moved into an extended stay America off the highway. $600 a week. A kitchenette I never used. A bed that wasn't mine. Cable TV with 200 channels of nothing. It was the loneliest I'd ever been. And the most peaceful. I woke up without dread. Went to work without the knot in my stomach. Came home to silence instead of tension. Jake stayed with me Tuesdays and Thursdays. We got pizza and played video games and didn't talk about the separation unless he brought it up. Is this permanent? He asked one Thursday. I don't know, buddy. Do you still love Mom? I thought about how to answer honestly without burdening him. I love the person she's trying to become. I'm just not sure I can live with the person she's been. That's confusing. Yeah, it really is. Connor says his parents fought all the time before the divorce. Like screaming fights. You and Mom don't do that. No, I agreed. We don't. So maybe you can fix it? Maybe. He seemed satisfied with that. Sarah texted every day. Not needy texts, just updates. Jake's parent-teacher conference went well. I'm cooking dinner if you want to come by. Therapy was hard today. I responded. Brief, but kind. We were civil, cooperative. Better co-parents apart than we'd been as spouses together. I went on a date, week 3 of the separation. A woman from work had asked me to coffee months ago, and I'd said no. I called her. She said yes. Her name was Rebecca. She was funny and smart and had 2 kids from a previous marriage. We got coffee, then dinner, then a second dinner. She was easy to talk to. She didn't test me, didn't play games. Just said what she meant and meant what she said. It was refreshing and terrifying. You're still married, she said on the 3rd date. Separated, I corrected, but not divorced. No. Are you going back? She asked. I don't know. Fair enough, she said. But I need you to figure it out before this goes further. I've been the other woman before. I won't do it again. I respected that. The month deadline approached. Sarah called and asked if we could meet. Not at the house. Not at Dr. Chen's office. Neutral ground. We met at the park. The same playground where we'd had the honest conversation 2 months ago. She looked good. Healthier. Her eyes were clearer. She'd cut her hair. You look different, I said. I feel different, she said. I started the PHP program. 3 days a week. It's intense, but it's helping. That's good. We sat on the swings again. The chain still creaked. I'm not going to ask you to come back, she said. I know what Dr. Chen said about not pressuring you, so I'm not. I just wanted to update you on my progress and to say thank you. For what? For not fighting for me, she said. For letting me fall apart. For forcing me to face myself instead of letting me use you as a crutch. You saved my life by walking away. I didn't know what to say to that. I don't know if we can fix this, she continued. I don't know if we should. But I want you to know that regardless of what happens, I'm grateful. You gave me 20 years. You gave me Jake. You gave me a safe place to be broken until I was ready to heal. That's more than most people get. Sarah, let me finish, she said. You're seeing someone. Miss Stomach dropped. Jake mentioned to Rebecca. It's fine. We're separated. You're allowed. It's not serious. It doesn't matter if it's serious, she said. What matters is you're moving forward. You're living. You're not stuck anymore. And I'm happy for you. Really. She wasn't crying. Wasn't manipulating. She just seemed at peace. What do you want? I asked. I want you to be happy, she said. If that's with me, great. If it's with Rebecca, great. If it's alone, also great. I just want you to choose what actually makes you happy instead of what you think you should choose. We swung in silence. I don't know what makes me happy anymore, I admitted. Then take more time, she said. I'll be here, working on myself, being Jake's mom, figuring out who I am outside of being your wife. And if you decide to come back, we'll try again. And if you don't, we'll co-parent like adults. Either way, I'm okay. She stood up. That's all I wanted to say. She walked toward the parking lot. I watched her go. Sarah, I called. She turned. I'm proud of you, I said. She smiled. A real smile. Then she left. I sat in that playground for another hour, thinking, processing, feeling. Rebecca was great, but she wasn't mine. Not yet. Maybe not ever. We were possibility, not reality. Sarah was work. Hard work. A gamble that might not pay off. Years of rebuilding what should never have broken in the first place. But she was also 20 years of history. Jake's mother. The woman I'd loved before I'd forgotten how to. And for the first time in those 20 years, she was actually trying. Not performing, not pretending, actually doing the work. I called Dr. Chen. I need to talk, I said. Now? Now. I drove to her office. She squeezed me in between clients. I don't know what to do, I said. Sarah's doing the work. Rebecca's a fresh start, and I'm paralyzed. Why paralyzed? Dr. Chen asked. Because every choice feels wrong. If I go back to Sarah, I'm the idiot who keeps giving chances to someone who doesn't deserve them. If I choose Rebecca, I'm the guy who gave up right when things were getting better. If I choose neither, I'm the coward who can't commit to anything. Or, Dr. Chen said, you're a human being making an impossible decision with imperfect information. That doesn't help. It's not supposed to help. It's supposed to give you permission to be uncertain. Mark, you don't have to have the answer right now. You don't have to choose the right path because there isn't one. There's just the path you choose and what you do with it. So what do I do? What does your gut say? I sat with the question. Really sat with it. I want to try, I said quietly. With Sarah, I want to see if she can actually change. If we can actually build something better. But I'm terrified she'll slip again. That I'll end up right back here in 6 months. That's possible, Dr. Chen said. She might slip. Probably will slip. Recovery isn't linear. The question is whether you can handle the slips without losing yourself again. I don't know. Then that's your work. Building boundaries strong enough that her slips don't destroy you. Learning when to stay and when to walk away. That's the difference between enabling and supporting. It clicked. Finally clicked. I need to be able to leave, I said. If I go back, I need to know I can leave if it gets bad again. Without guilt. Without feeling like I failed. Exactly, Dr. Chen said. You stay because you choose to, not because you're trapped. And the moment it stops being a choice, you walk. How do I know when that moment is? You'll know, she said. Trust me, you'll know. I ended things with Rebecca. She understood. Wish me luck. Said if it didn't work out to call her. Classy until the end. I called Sarah. Can we talk? In person? Of course. We met at the house. Our house. Jake was at school. I'm coming home, I said. But with conditions. She nodded. Tell me. Individual therapy continues. PHP continues. No canceling unless you're hospitalized. Agreed. Couples therapy continues. And if Dr. Chen says we're not making progress, I leave. No arguments. Agreed. Financial transparency. I get login access to all accounts. I see every purchase over $50 before it happens. She winced, but nodded. Agreed. And most importantly, I said, the first time you turn to someone else, emotionally, physically, doesn't matter, I'm done. No second chance. No working through it. Just done. Understood, she said. This isn't a romantic reunion, I said. This is a trial period. We're rebuilding from scratch. And if it doesn't work, we end it cleanly. No drama, no blame. We just acknowledge we tried and it wasn't enough. Okay, she said. I moved back in that weekend. The first month back was weird. We were roommates who used to be married trying to become married again. We slept in the same bed but didn't touch. We ate meals together but didn't talk about anything important. We existed in the same space but lived separate lives. Slowly, carefully, we started bridging the gap. A hand on my shoulder while I cooked dinner. A kiss on the cheek before work. A how was your day? That wasn't obligatory. Small moments. Building blocks. Jake was happier. The house was calmer. Sarah was consistent in her therapy, her medication, her honesty. She'd slip sometimes. Spend money without asking. Get defensive instead of open. But she'd catch herself. Apologize. Course correct. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. 6 months in, we went on a real vacation. Just the two of us. Left Jake with my brother. Drove to a cabin in the mountains. No phones. No distractions. Just us. We talked about everything. About the affair. About the money. About the years of resentment. We cried. We laughed. We sat in silence watching the sunset. Do you love me? Sarah asked on the last night. I thought about it. Really thought about it. I love who you're becoming, I said. I'm not sure I love who you were. But the woman you are now? Yeah, I could love her. Could or do? Do, I said. I do love you. This version of you, she cried. Happy tears this time. I love you too, she said. The patient version. The boundaried version. The version that doesn't let me destroy us. I love that you loved me enough to walk away. We made love that night. For the first time in over a year. It was tentative and tender and nothing like before. It was better. It's been 2 years since the divorce conversation. Sarah's been in therapy the whole time. She's on medication that works. She's built a life outside of me, friends, hobbies, a part-time job she actually enjoys. I've built boundaries. I've learned to say no. I've learned that loving someone doesn't mean losing yourself. Jake's 15 now, thriving, oblivious to how close we came to falling apart. Are we perfect? No. We still fight, still disappoint each other, still have hard days. But we're better. We're honest. We're partners instead of adversaries. Last week, Sarah found an old wedding photo. We were so young, so naive, so sure love alone was enough. We were idiots, she said, laughing. Completely, I agreed. Would you do it again? She asked. Knowing everything you know now? I thought about it. About the affair and the fights and the years of pain. About the separation and the doubt and the fear. About Jake. About the good years. About the laughter we found again. About the woman sitting next to me who fought like hell to become someone worth loving. Yeah, I said. I would. Not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. She kissed me. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for giving me a reason not to. We're not a fairy tale. We're not a romance novel. We're just two broken people who decided to fix themselves before trying to fix each other. And somehow, against all odds, it worked. Not because I fought for her that night, but because I finally fought for me.